Okie dokie, ladies. Just make sure that we are, let's check on my computer, make sure we are live back there. So we are live. I am Kelly Sharp. My business is Chestnut Junction, and we specialize in e-patterns for primitive dolls, primitive crafts, and primitive embroidery. If you see a red button up in the corner of your screen, we are live. You can talk to me, interact with me, ask me any questions. You can also chat with the other people who are on the live with us. If you don't see the live button up in the left-hand corner, then you are watching us on replay, and you want to go ahead and type hashtag replay down in the comments so we know you are here and you visited with us. I like to get on here at least once a week and do a little bit of crafting with you guys, check in on everybody, see what everybody's up to. Hey Jackie, wave back. I don't know if I'm not seeing comments or not. Nope. Okay, only the one comment here. So you guys can write comments down there in the comment box. And every time you guys probably don't notice it, I notice it. The wall back there. Currently my office is in the spare bedroom of our house. When we bought the house, this room, well, actually both bedrooms, the wallpaper was pretty. So we have remodeled, or not, I mean, kind of say remodeled. We redid the walls, put up like beadboard paneling in the other bedroom. But this bedroom still needs some work. So yeah, whenever you guys hop on here and see just all this crap laying around everywhere, it's like, yeah, we should be embarrassed to be going live with the way that the walls and stuff look in here. I mean, yeah. But until we get this room redone, we're gonna look like, you know what I mean, somebody abandoned the place or came in here and ramshackled the place all up. Still not showing if anybody's. There's some comments. Hey Miss Pam, how are you doing? Glad you come in and join us today. I haven't forgot about the giveaway this week. I've got a new giveaway I'm going to get posted later on today for you guys to go ahead and sign up for that. But I just wanted to hop on here and oh, thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. I just wanted to hop on here today and, I don't know, just kind of hang out a little bit and do some crafting. I have 2 Annies that I'm working on, so just thought I would hop on here and hang out with y'all and do work a little bit on these Annies. Hey Miss Shirley, thank you. I like your stuff too, Shirley. I look at your pictures that you post all the time. Well, hey Miss Pam, I'm the one that got lucky. Lucky that you came in here and joined us. Everybody's welcome. Just come in and hang out. So today I'm gonna make this an Annie doll. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with her shoes, and I'm just using some black paint and a flat edge brush. Go ahead and bend you down here. Hopefully I can still see your comments. I don't have, hubby's working, so I don't have hubby back there to man the chat for me. I think he gets a little ornery back there sometimes. So I hope everybody's having a good week. The weather here is nice. The leaves are starting to fall, which I like and I don't like because, I mean, the leaves are so pretty. We have two big trees in our yard. One is a poplar tree and the other one is a maple tree, and they're both gorgeous. Whenever the can you guys see me? They're both gorgeous whenever the leaves turn, and they're even pretty when they're on the when they're laying on the ground. But oh my goodness, who the heck likes cleaning up all those leaves? Like, especially whenever they you know, they like pack around your bushes and against the bottom of the house. Yeah, like the leaves are beautiful. Well, hello, is it Karinette? Hello, Karinette from France. So glad you could join us. Welcome, welcome. We're just working on some Raggedy Ann dolls today. So yeah, the trees, and the squirrels. Oh my gosh, the squirrels are so busy because the neighbor across the alley from us, their tree, both of their trees are the pin oaks, and they're full of acorns. So the squirrels have been going hog nutty on those acorns, and now the deer are starting to show up every evening and feast on those acorns too. And I don't know if I told you guys about the corn shucks, stalks. What do y'all call them? The corn. There's the shucks, stalks that you put on the, you decorate for fall with. But we've got the corn, I call them shocks. We got the corn shocks on our front porch and on our side porch. Thank you, Karinette. Pam calls them stalks. I don't know why we call them shocks here. Maybe we're just hillbilly here in Ohio. But we get ours from an Amish family. When we used to live in Barnesville, like the outskirts of Barnesville is surrounded by the Amish, and they're like older order Amish. They're not like the more progressive Amish that are like in Holmes County, Ohio. I mean, Holmes County has older Amish, but there's been a lot of Amish that have left Holmes County because it's become such a tourist trap, I guess you want to say, touristy area, that they've left Holmes County up there. So yeah, where we used to live in Barnesville, which is like a half an hour away from here, the outskirts of Barnesville is surrounded by old order Amish. So we had gotten to know one of the families, but I don't know, they were probably about 10 minutes outside of Barnesville. But anyway, that's where we get our pumpkins and our corn shocks from. So we, even though we moved like a half hour away, we still go out there and we'll visit with them, once a year when it's time to decorate for fall. And the shocks that they sell are not like what you would go get at Walmart. The shocks that the Amish sell, they're still full of corn. So we brought home, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We bought 7. We brought home 7 bundles of the corn shocks to, decorate our porch posts. And they still had the corn on them. And I guess it's called like field corn. Yeah, back in Barnesville, we never had a problem. We bring those corn shocks home, nothing ever touched them. Well, we bring them home here, and we live next to a cemetery, which is full of every critter imaginable. Hey, Tamara. Thank you so much. So those corn shocks, we've got corn mess everywhere. Let's just, long story short, we've got corn mess all over the place because the deer are eating them. I don't even, can you guys see? I'm just sitting here rattling off, just yammering and not even seeing if you guys can see me. But we've got all the critters eating the corn, and they just take it and they throw it everywhere. So every day I have to get out there on the porch and on the side porch and clean up all that corn that they've thrown everywhere. But I think they've about got it all. Oopsie, eaten at this point. So I'm not having to clean up as much every day. So if you guys are just joining us, I'm Kelly. I'm from Chestnut Junction. We do e-patterns, and I've been making primitive crafts. Geez, over 20 years, but I've been crafting a lot longer than that because my mom and I used to have, my mom used to sell crafts when I was a kid and she'd wholesale to shops and whatnot, like back when it was like country crafts. That was back in the 80s. So I've been doing crafts for a long time. We do patterns. I sell e-patterns. I do sell paper patterns if anybody is interested, but I only sell paper patterns in our Etsy shop. And you do have to click on the listings that say paper patterns because you don't want to add those e-patterns to your cart or you will get charged for them. But today I'm working on a Raggedy Ann and I'm painting her shoes, and I'm just using a flat edge brush here and just some regular black paint. Oh, you live near the fields and the farms too, huh? I'm telling you what, you get critters. We see like fox. Is fox? Is foxes? Is that plural foxes, or is it fox? We see them. We see them. They're foxes. The fox. We got groundhogs. We got deer. And then we laugh because we have got the majority of deer that you see here where we live are female deer. And there's a lot of them. But you only see one male deer, and he is a huge buck. I'm surprised, honest to goodness, that a hunter has not taken him out. And I probably will be sad if a hunter ever takes him out. But that big buck, yeah, he's got a huge harem. We laugh at him because we say those girls keep him busy. But Yeah, you'll see him, I don't know, maybe once or twice a week. He'll come strutting his stuff out of the cemetery. You know, he walks around like he's king of the forest. But I think the cats, everybody around here has cats they leave outside. We have 2 cats, but I never leave them outside. But I think the cat population has taken out all of the bunnies, because we used to have a lot of bunnies. Because actually, where we live now, I grew up here. Not in this house, but I grew up on this street. My mom just lives right down the street. But it's a very pretty neighborhood. It's got a park area. And I had the privilege actually of growing up in a very, very, you know what I mean, just wonderful neighborhood here. And then my husband and I moved to the town that he lived in and lived there for, you know, a long time. And we just decided we would move back. The house came up for sale down the street from my mom. So my dad has passed, and we just like, hey, we'll move in and be closer to Mom and help her out. All the turkeys, yeah. I've never seen any turkeys in our cemetery, but I'll see them. Like if we ride out, like, does anybody else like take a Sunday afternoon and like ride out the dirt roads, you know, and just kind of take in nature? But we'll see turkeys if we ride out those dirt roads. Oops, I'm gonna try to dry these with the hairdryer real quick. Those aren't completely dry, but they're dry enough that I can move on a little bit. I'm just gonna, oh goodness guys, I'm getting paint everywhere. I know that we live not far from the sea. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine seeing seals. That would be totally cool. Yeah. Can you get near the seals? Are they friendly? Or are they aggressive? When I say aggressive, it makes me think of my mom, because my mom, like I said, just right down the street, she's got, she's scared to death of chipmunks. And I was sitting on her porch the other day and she saw a chipmunk. And oh my goodness, she just loses it because she sees this chipmunk. But she swears chipmunks are aggressive. So, you know, she wants me to come home and have my husband get the trap and all this other stuff. And, you know, I'm glad the little booger wound up, he moved on, because I think chipmunks are cute. I think they do cause damage with like your, you know, your flowers, and they dig holes and stuff, but they're cute. I mean, like, it's like Chip and Dale, you know? I don't know why she has such a fit about, the chipmunks. I mean, she just, they just like gross her out. But see, I'm like, she's not afraid of mice. Well, no, yes, she's afraid of mice. She's not afraid of spiders. Now, I'm scared to death of spiders. Wow, I can't. Pam, you're scared of chipmunks too. You're gonna have to hang out with my mom, you know. I can't believe the seals are friendly. I mean, like, I would love that. Like, I'm an animal person anyway. I love all animals, which I shouldn't. Well, no, I can't say it's a bad thing, but when I say I shouldn't, it's because I'll be out and I'll see a strange animal and I'll pet it and, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, but I think it'd be so neat to see a seal. I know we went to SeaWorld one time here in Ohio, but it's not there anymore. And we got to see the, I got Annie's shoes painted. Now I'm gonna use some red paint and do her stripes. We went to SeaWorld and we got to see the big Shamu whales. I mean, those are just incredible animals, incredible. But I think, I don't know, isn't it like, hasn't PETA, my paint doesn't want to come out, hasn't PETA like shut down places like SeaWorld and stuff? I don't even know if stuff like that exists anymore. But we have a little zoo. Guys, I'm gonna have to get like down and dirty with this paint because it doesn't want to come out. So if you see me like corking down, don't get scared. This paint, here we go. This paint's giving me the what for here. Doesn't want to come out. And I say we have a little zoo. If you ever get a chance to Google Ogleby, it looks Oglebay, Oglebay. It's Ogle. Oh, cool! I'd love to see a picture of the seal. But Ogleby Park has a zoo, and it's called the Good Zoo, and it's just a tiny little zoo. But I like it because it's more of an interactive zoo. And do some leg stripes here. Like they have programs and days and things where you actually can interact with the animals. But one thing that they do have all the time is they have a deer enclosure. Where actually you can go right in with those deers, right in with the deer, and they're very tame. You can just hang out with them, sit there. You can buy food to feed them. Then they have a little train that you can ride. Oh, and they have llamas and goats. Those are in an enclosure too that you can feed the llamas and the goats. Oh, I do. I love the zoo. I love animals. I mean, if you guys, I don't know if I've told the story yet about how my neighbor's cat lives on my porch. And he's free to go home. I mean, he's free to go home. I'm not holding him here. They don't tell him he can't come home. I mean, their door's always open, but he doesn't want to go home. I know they have a dog that he doesn't like, but I mean, I can't believe the neighbor's cat just decided that he's going to live on my porch. So, I mean, we got him a little heated house that he sleeps in, and we feed him. And of course, I mean, I go out there and I love on him, and but he tries to earn his name is Spike. He's like 14 or 15 years old. He's an old boy. But he tries to earn his keep around here because he will go hunting and, you know, he'll leave little dead carcasses on the porch in the morning, you know. Meanwhile, I'm like, ugh, you know, I have to go out there and clean it up. But then, you know, I have to beware of his little kitty feelings, you know, not let him know that I'm all grossed out. So I tell him he did a good job, and, you know, and clean up the carcasses that he leaves. But like I said, I'm just, I'm stunned that a cat literally would just, you know, pick up and say, I'm not going home. I'm going to live on the neighbor's porch, you know. And he follows me everywhere. Like whenever I walk down to my mom's house, he follows me. He's my little shadow. And he's just so loyal to me. Like I'll go in my mom's house and I can be in there an hour or so, and Spike will still be waiting outside for me. And the neighbors, they'll be like, I thought that was Nellie's cat. I'm like, it is. And they're like, why is it always with you? I'm like, I don't know. He's like adopted me. Alrighty. So for the leg stripes, I just used some red paint, and this probably, I think it's a little less than 1/4 of an inch flat brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and give these a little bit of a dry with a dryer. Okay, so I've got 2 Annie dolls here. One that I already had. Oh, there's a glare. One that I already had the stripes and the shoes and stuff done. But I'm going to work on their faces. If you get one of our patterns, I always give you, you know, a little pattern piece. I'm going to move you back up here just a second. What time is it? I don't, if it's 9:20, I don't know, maybe it's 2:20, 3:20 here. I'm not even sure what time it is. Sometimes I never know if I'm coming or going. Whenever you get a pattern from us, and like an Annie doll, I'll give you a little pattern piece, you know, to cut out for her nose. Now, if I'm making Annie's myself at home, well, I'm always at home, but I don't use a pattern. Some people don't feel, you know, comfortable not using a pattern. But if I'm making Annie's, like I'm just going to sell, I don't use a pattern. I just freehand it. But if, and I need to find some scissors. If you don't feel comfortable with freehanding a pattern, just grab yourself a piece of paper and I don't know. What do you think this is? About a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of paper I cut out. I'm gonna fold it in half, and I'll do one a triangle and I'll do the other one a square. Okay, so we're just looking. We folded this piece of paper in half, and we're just looking to make a little triangle shape. So I'm gonna cut a straight line across the bottom, and then, can you see this? And then cut an angled line to give us a nose. And I can already tell you, I think this nose is too big. So I cut out a little triangle piece. It might work. Let me trim it up just a hair. If you guys are just joining us, I am Kelly. My business is Chestnut Junction. And if that red button is up in the corner of your screen, you are watching me live, and you can talk with me, ask me questions, and talk with other people in chat. If that red button is not there, then you are catching us on the replay, and you just want to type hashtag replay in that in the comments box. If you don't already like our page, we would love it if you would like our page. We would so much appreciate if you'd share our page on your personal page. Guys, I'm looking for a pencil. And of course, I can't find a pencil. Let's see. Okay. Well, I guess it kind of helped out anyway. All right. I cut out this this little nose piece. It's just a triangle. A lot of times I will tell you to use one of these Mark Be Gone pens, and this is a water-soluble pen that disappears when water hits it. So, like whenever you coffee stain, it would disappear. But for these noses, especially on the face, sometimes, I'm just saying sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that that blue marker can give you a little bit of what do you want to say? It can be a little ornery, you know, about totally disappearing. So whenever I do the noses, I like to use a pencil. If you're going to use a pattern. So what I would do is, there's the face of my doll, and I'm just going to center her nose piece, center her little nose in the middle of her face. You see that? Can't tell if you can see it or not, because there we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and lightly trace this nose onto her face with a pencil. So is anybody still working on Halloween and fall stuff, or you guys moving on to Christmas projects? I know I'm trying to move on to Christmas projects myself. All right, there's her nose. So I'm going to find myself a little fine brush here. Okay. Find myself like a little fine brush, and I'm going to put you back down here. So I still have a little bit of red paint here. All right. So I'm just going to take my fine brush Pam is still doing fall still. I have my first, your first craft show? Really? So like what's, I'm using red paint here, guys. Is it like a local show you're doing? I'm excited to hear about this, that it's your first show. I know a lot of the shows around here have canceled because of the coronavirus. We're in Ohio. But I think some of the, at least one of the bigger shows was still going on. So for this nose, I'm just going along the my trace line first. I remember the first time I set up at a craft show, I was so nervous. But I actually learned a lot my first craft show. Just watching what other people do and how they set up and, you know, how they display. And so it actually, I said I was scared to death, but it actually wound up being like a really good learning experience. CareNet, my black paint is Deco Art, and my red paint is Folk Art Barn Red. Well, thank you. Is it Bettina? Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'd like to try to get on here at least once a week and just kind of craft and hang out with you guys. You know, and if anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to ask. So if you're just joining us, we are working on a Raggedy Ann. I have cut a little triangle pattern for her nose. I lightly traced it on her face with a pencil. Then I took my fine line brush and I followed along that pencil line. And now I'm just filling in. Okay. So I'm going to hit that with my hairdryer real quick. Actually, I can see a place where I missed, which is no biggie. We will just come back in and touch it up. So there's our nose. Hey Linda, thank you for joining us. No, I have not watered down the paint for this. I will tell you that if like you're doing a black doll or snowman, like where the whole body needs to be painted, I will go ahead and water that paint down a little bit. And got to make sure it's stirred up really well so you get even coverage. But for faces, no, I don't water down the paint. But if you're painting a whole body, yes, I will, you know, water down the paint. I think for this girl too, like there's her nose. I'm just going to go ahead and this is just freehand. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to give her a little dot down here for her nose, or for her mouth. Okay, and I just real simple. I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my other Annie doll, because I told you I was working on 2 of them. This was just our little piece of paper that we had cut the nose pattern out of. So this one, I think I'm going to do more of a square nose. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out a little pattern for that. And, you know, it doesn't have to be any particular size. Just something that looks good to your eye. We're just cutting out a little pattern for the nose that we can trace onto her face. Okay. So I've cut out a little, I'm going to make this one, a little like square rectangular nose. Okay. So I'm just going to put it on her face, situate it where I like it, and then with the pencil I'm just going to lightly trace around that little nose piece we cut out. Like I said, you can use the Mark Be Gone pen for this, but I like the pencil because you can just cover it up with the paint and you're good to go. So got my fine line paintbrush here. There's our little nose. So we're just going to paint along that line. I think my paint's starting to get a little thick because it's been out for so long. I don't know if you can see too. I use an old school tray for my paint palette, and each little section gets its own color. That way I don't have to wash it all the time. I wash it, you know. Actually, just the paint peels off, but I'll go ahead and clean it every couple of months. But yeah, I like it because, like I said, each section gets its own color, and then I don't have any cleanup with my tray every time that I paint. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, I like doing the videos and hanging out with you guys. And like I said, you know, if you have any questions about anything, it doesn't have to be what I'm working on right now. If you have any questions about anything with the crafting, go ahead and ask me. We've posted, if you're new with me, we have several videos here on our business page. It's on the left hand side. It says videos, and on that, if you click that videos link, we have several videos in there with teaching you how to do things with the dolls, doing the body, making her dress, stuffing. Like I said, we've tried to cover the basics. I just took my little fine line brush and I outlined that that line that we traced, and now I'm just filling in the middle. Oh, thank you, Karenette. I've never seen that before. That's a very pretty name, Karenette. It must be French. Okay, so we got that filled in. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this again with my hairdryer. So on the other one, I added a little dot for her mouth. I think this one, is this my clean or dirty brush? I think this one's my clean brush. I don't want to use this one. Put it back over here. Oh, okay. Still, it's very pretty. I like it. All right, so for this girl, I think I'm going to give her more of a little line for her mouth. And I'm just freehanding this. I got my fine line brush, and I'm just freehanding this. Okay, so I'm going to hit that with the hairdryer. Alrighty, hit that with the hairdryer. I'm going to come up here so you don't just look at my hands. Give me 1 second here to clean out my my brushes. I'm a big one about taking care of your brushes. And I'm just like, this is a baby wipe. Because normally I would go and wash these out in between uses. Because if you take care of your paintbrushes will last a long time. And I tell you guys too, excuse me, that whenever you wash your paintbrushes, make sure after you get them clean to take just a little bit of soap, whether it's hand soap, dish soap, whatever. Take a little bit of soap and just resize your brush. Because when you buy your paintbrushes at the store, they have sizing in them that keeps them all straight and nice. So you can do that every time you wash your brushes. You can, put just a little bit of soap in there and resize them, and your brushes will last you a long time. Okay, so we've got our noses and our mouths. I think they're dry. Okay, sandpaper. I'm gonna go ahead and give these a light sand. Fine sandpaper is probably the best thing to use. Excuse me. Medium grit, okay. You don't want to use coarse grit. Coarse grit will rip holes in your fabric. You don't want that. Another thing I'm going to show you too, whenever you're sanding, I don't know if you guys can see. When you sand, try to stay inside that sanded area, okay? And then I just use a dry paper towel, and I'll come and try to wipe some of that sand, the paint dust off. But I try to stay inside the nose instead of sanding across her whole face, because number one, you're going to get the dust, the paint dust spread out around your face. And number two, if I go like this with the sandpaper, sanding back and forth across her entire face, I'm actually sanding the top of the fabric over here. So then when you go to stain, you're going to notice it because, the top layer of the fabric is going to be gone. So when you sand, you just want to stay, inside your painted area. And it's just a light sand. I'm not pressing very hard. So we did her nose. And just wipe that dust off. And then we'll get her little mouth down here. And then this is the one we did with the square nose. So just want to stay inside that painted area. Just wipe the dust off as you go. And then we'll do her mouth. Okay, next we are going to do the blushing of the cheeks. You can either, I like a flat edge brush to do the blushing of the cheeks. Sometimes I use, this is more of a soft bristle brush, but sometimes, say most of the time, I will use more of a stiff bristled brush. But I think today, because last video I did, we did the stiff bristled brush. So today I think I'm going to do the soft bristled brush. And this is for the blushing of the cheeks. And I like to do the blushing of the cheeks before I put their eyes on, because whenever you I like full how I say this. I like full coverage for the blushing of the cheeks. If you wait, if you put the eyes on and then try to do your blushing, you're going to have to do it in a smaller area. I hope I'm explaining myself right. Because you would be painting over top of the eye. So I like to blush my cheeks before the eyes. That way we just add the eye on top of the blush. I hope that made sense. So I'm going to get a little bit more red paint here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and bend you guys down a little bit again. So the key with the blushing is to go light. Really? I have never heard of that. Do you have pictures posted on your paint? I was talking to Pam. I've never heard of that. That's awesome. Do you have pictures posted on your page? I'd love to look at your dolls and see what that looks like. Okay, so we have our brush here, and I hope you guys can see the paint. Okay, you guys see the little paint puddle? All right, so normally I tell you in a pattern to dab this off on a paper towel before you add it on. That way you're getting off any of the, thanks Pam, I'd appreciate it. Or you can post it, you know, on my page or on my if I don't know if we're friends, are we friends? I'd say you could post it on my page too. Or even on my personal page. Normally whenever I tell you guys to dry brush, I always tell you to dab this paint off on a paper towel. Because you don't want a brush that's heavily loaded with paint. I don't do that process anymore because it's just, I've been doing this for so long, I know how much paint I can have in my brush. If you have problems with this, then I would dab your paint off on a paper towel so you don't have just, you know, an overly loaded paintbrush. But this, you can see, it's very lightly loaded, all right? So we're just going to go ahead, take our lightly loaded paint brush, and we're going to go ahead and add some cheeks here. And this is a light touch, light. You do not want to go heavy-handed with this, all right? And I just come in and get myself a circle going, all right? And like I said, it is a light touch. You can always come back and add more paint, but you can't take the paint away. So if you have to do 2 or 3 layers, do 2 or 3 layers. Yeah, Kat the Carenet, the makeup for the cheeks. I remember whenever my mom and I first started making dolls back in the 80s, we used to use blush for the cheeks. And whenever I started doing this on my own and making my own dolls, I saw that other doll makers were using paint. So I'm like, oh, I want to try that. And I like the paint better. So I'm just just going into my little paint puddle here and reloading some paint. And this is coming in for layer number 2 on this cheek. So it's a light touch. You don't want to load your paintbrush up heavily. And I think I'm going to do one more layer here, and then we'll call her cheeks done. So in total, I've done 3 layers here. 3 very light layers to get the color of her cheeks. See. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this one. Her cheeks aren't Hey, Miss Franny, thanks for coming in and joining us. Yeah, I'm sorry, my chair keeps squeaking too. Faces can take a little bit of practice. They really can. I don't think anybody's going to be, you know what I mean, a pro at it the very first time they try it. And it definitely takes practice. To this day, I still make dolls that sometimes I think are just, ugh, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the way that turned out. So yeah, I mean, even after, I've been doing this for, goodness, like 30 years, I still will, Hey, Miss Donna, how are you today, girl? Wave back at you. Miss Donna doesn't like me tell everybody she was on Knots Landing. I'm just kidding, too. She's not Donna Mills from Knots Landing. Because my luck, she'd be getting slammed with stuff. No. But I like to tease her. Donna has been with us for a long time. I have several of you that have been with us from the very beginning, and I love you guys, and I consider you my friends. So we've done one pass through so far. If you guys are just joining us, I am Kelly. My business is Chestnut Junction. We specialize in e-patterns, but I'm a primitive crafter, and I love to make I like to make things, period. If you don't already like our business page, I invite you to go ahead and like our business page. And if you feel like I've been helpful today with giving you any tips or techniques, and you think that your friends would enjoy watching a live with us, I invite you to share this video on your personal page. If the red button is up in your corner, we're watching live, so be sure to ask me any questions that you may have. Am I freezing up, guys? If that red button is not in the corner of your screen, you are watching us on the replay, and you want to go ahead and comment down below replay, so we know that you stopped by and you visited with us. Okay. So go ahead and put the rest of my paint back in my paint bottle. I'm going to wipe off my brush here. And next I'm going to show you guys how I put on, can somebody like make a comment, just say hi or something, just to make sure that, I can't tell if I froze up here or not, because it looks like my comments are stuck. So if somebody could just type something real quick in the comments, so I know that I'm still good here. I'm going to hit these with the hair dryer. Okay, my comments are good. Hey, Miss Debbie. And okay, thank you, Pam. Thank you for doing that. How's it going today, Debbie? Yes, Miss Franny, I am going to do the eyes. I'm going to hit these cheeks with the hair dryer, and then we're going to move on to the eyes. So, I need to get a new chair, because that squeaking is like annoying. Going good. Oh, at least you got with him, right, Debbie? So for we're going back to Seattle, and well, you still have the rest of the week, huh? Let me see. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So at least you have 4 more days. Get some good visiting in. I don't have anything coming out Thanksgiving. I've got something that I'm trying to get in the works for Christmas. But I don't. You are freezing up on my end. Yeah, it seems like the internet might be acting a little goofy today. So, hey Pamela, thanks for joining us. All right, we're gonna add some eyes to these guys, and this is what I'm going to use. Oh. Well, hopefully you got a good visit in with him, Debbie. This is just like one of those regular, or like just cheapo foam pouncy brushes. But for the eyes, I'm going to use, see how it's got a flat end? You can use any, this is another paintbrush. You can use just about any handle tip for eyes. Chris Sharp, you quit spying on me. It's my hubby. We're going to use this handle tip to get the uniform dots for the eyes. So I'm going to take some black paint. All right, and I'm just telling you from experience the tips and techniques that that go along with this. All right, you can take your paint. Hey Florence, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. You can take the tip of this, all right, and just dab it down into your cap. But you want to make sure you get full coverage. But then I'm going to go down and tap it into my paint tray, because I want coverage on that end, but I don't want it to be too much where it's just going to bleed everywhere. So we've got paint on the tip of on the handle end of our sponge brush, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tap in an eye. Just tap it in there. Okay? So I'm going to go back and dip into my paintbrush again, or my paint cap. Tap it a little bit down in my tray, and then try to give it as even as you can, and just tap another eye. And you can see I did not coverage, right? But I'm going to come back with my fine brush and I'm going to fill that. So I'm heading over to this other doll now, and I'm going to dip the handle of my paintbrush into my paint cap and tap it down here on my my paint tray, and then figure out where we want her little eyes at. Put her an eye in, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Try to get them even as you can, and just tap that eye in there. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead, take my end here, and I'm gonna wipe it off. Okay. So now we are going to go back in, and I have a fine brush here. And you can either work out of the cap or work out of the paint you have down in here. I'm going to work out of the cap and see how we didn't get full coverage. I'm just going to come in with this fine brush and fill it in. You guys see me? Just fill in those little areas where your handle did not quite get enough coverage. Like I said, we're using a fine, like, liner brush for that. Yeah, Debbie, that's a good way to do it too. To go ahead and trace the eyes on. So we filled those in. And this one, see, we didn't get full coverage. So I'm just going to go back through with my fine brush and just cover those areas where we just didn't get quite enough paint with the end of the brush there. But I like using the handles because, you know, you can see here both of our eyes, they're even, they're uniform. And it's just, it's quick and easy. That's what I like, quick and easy. Okay. So I'm going to hit these with the hairdryer. Get paint here, get ourselves just a little bit cleaned up here, get this stuff out of the way. These baby wipes, awesome to keep baby wipes, awesome to keep baby wipes in your craft room. They not, you know, they clean paint off of your paint brushes, but they're also good for, you know, wiping the table or cleaning paint off your hands. So now we have the faces, two different faces on the Raggedy Ann dolls. And thank you, Karenette. So if you're just joining us here at the end, we have done faces for these Raggedy Ann dolls. I just took regular paper and cut myself out some little, this is just freehand. I just freehand cut these for their noses, and I went and I traced their noses onto their faces with pencil. And then we, thank you, Franny. Then we painted the noses. We blushed the cheeks. Then we did the eyes. And I don't think they're not quite dry yet. But I'm gonna need to sand these eyes. For the next video that I do, I will go ahead after I get their eyes sanded, and get them coffee stained. I will come back and I will show you how I draw the lines on their faces. And I'm right now trying to show you guys. Okay. This is, and I don't know if it's going to come up backwards. It probably will come up backwards. All right. This is the pen that I use to do the facial features on my Raggedy Ann dolls. This is called a Pilot, P-I-L-O-T, Pilot Razor, R-A-Z-O-R, Point. Pilot Razor Point. These are available on Amazon. But these are, I don't know if that's in focus or not. These are like awesome. These are my favorite pens to use to do the Annie dolls. They don't bleed. I used to use another brand, which they're not making now anymore, so I have switched to this brand. It is a Pilot Razor Point, available on Amazon. I think you have to buy them in a box. But yes, I highly, highly, highly recommend these. So this is what we're going to use to do her facial features after these guys have been coffee stained. So that will be my next video, is showing you guys how to do those facial lines on the Annie dolls. A 0.01 Pigma pen. Okay, thanks for sharing that info. Hey Beryl, how are you? Glad you could join us today. Yeah, it's getting to be slim pickings with the pens to do the Annie faces, and I'm noticing, like I said, the one I used to use before, I used it for years and years. They're not making it anymore, so I had to find a new one. So I just went shopping for pens, and I was ordering pens, and I ruined out in how many dolls, seriously, because the pens would just bleed. But this one, like, this is gold, and I mean, I love this pen. On my website, www.chestnutjunction.com, I do have an Amazon page there that has links to the Amazon site where you can purchase. You don't purchase this stuff from me. You would purchase it through Amazon, but you're going through my affiliate link. I am an Amazon affiliate. I don't make big time money off of this stuff. If you were to place an order, I would probably only make a couple of pennies. But I put this stuff there because I want you guys to be able to have good supplies that you can find. And now, is Pigma a brand, Debbie? But yeah, on my Amazon page, on my website, I've got a bunch of links there for you guys of stuff I personally use, and there's also some things there that are like on my wish list. You know, things that I'd like to, you know, things I just like, that I just want to share with you because I think they're cool. But I've got links on my Amazon page on my website. Okay, that Pigma is a brand. I'll have to look that up. But the Amazon things are stuff like tried and true with me. This pen's there. I've also got links for some fabric, some tags, what else? Some doll hair, some rusty jingle bells, rusty wire, all this, you know, stuff that I use. But basically that's why I put that page there. I mean, I like to shop. I mean, who doesn't like to shop? But basically, I'm not making, you know, like, we're not retiring off of my off of my Amazon links, because I'm not. Yeah, we'd be po. We would be po living in the yard. But I do have those links there, so you guys can. Thanks for sharing that link, Debbie. Thank you. I'll have to look into that. Are they expensive? Because I don't think these are very expensive. But I like these too because these, you guys like doing like the primitive tags. Like these are good for lettering and whatnot. So, just trying to think if I think I've covered everything. Does anybody have any questions before I wrap this up? I'm gonna get these girls coffee stained. I'm gonna lightly sand their eyes before I coffee stain them. And like I said, we'll come back and we'll do the drawing on their faces. But I want to give you a second or two here if anybody has any questions about anything we did today, or, you know, anything in general. Oh, okay. $2 a pen isn't, I don't think that's really bad. I'm not sure what I paid for these. Like I said, the link is on, if you go to our website, www.chestnutjunction.com, on our Amazon, there is a link for the Pilot razor pens down there. And then, you know, our other selling, the other place we sell, but, you know, there's no, our e-patterns. And then whenever I have some finished stuff, I'll list that, and that's in my Etsy shop, and that's www.etsy.com/shop/Chestnut Junction. And if I ever have, when I have stuff, finished stuff, thank you, Tamara, you too. Whenever I have stuff, finished items listed in my Etsy shop, you will see a link on the side that says handmade. If you don't see a handmade, that means I don't have anything listed handmade right now. But I get so confused. I know I'm just rambling here, but I get so confused. You too, Karenette. I get so confused on what just what direction to go with some of this stuff, because I get a lot of people that want to buy finished items, and it's hard for me to manage time between doing finished items and doing patterns, and it's just patterns is it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And hey, Miss Shelley, how are you? Thanks for joining us today. So I'm just, like I said, I know that you guys, you know, want new patterns and you enjoy the patterns, but I'm just, you know, I'm trying to weigh things out, because like I said, I'm liking doing finished items more, and patterns they're a lot of work. So like I said, I'm trying to weigh things out here, and I'm not going anywhere. My patterns will, you know, still be there available on Etsy. But somebody earlier in the video had asked me if I had any Thanksgiving stuff that I was working on, and I don't have any Thanksgiving stuff that you know, no e-patterns that I'm working on right now. Okay, guys, if nobody has any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and wind it up here. I will get these coffee stained and come back with another video and show you how to do those faces on those Raggedy Ann dolls. As always, just love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for joining our lives and participating, and I thank you for your support. If you haven't already liked our page, you know, we appreciate if you like our page, and, you know, share it with your friends if you think that they'd find any of our videos useful. But we just love you. Thank you so much. You guys have a good day, and thanks for hanging out with me today. It was good. Thanks. Bye-bye.